And so we present Carry On.
Scars, secrets, fears, dreams, guts, guilt, strength, tension, love. Scars, secrets, fears, dreams, guts, guilt, strength, tension, love.
The things that stay with us day to day.
That make us who we are.
And with or without them, we must carry on.
Keep moving forward.
Go with the flow.
Evolve.
Remember the cat. And just keep swimming.
Or do we carry the past with us?
Where else will the things we carry come from?
Where do we learn them?
What do they mean to us?
When you first hear carry on, you think move forward. But I think carrying on is a matter of finding the answer to your question. And sometimes you have to look to the past to find your answer.
Does knowing where you come from make you feel more connected to your roots?
How can you carry on your own traditions if you don't know where they came from?
When we were asked who felt connected to their ancestry, only one of us raised our hands. When we asked who wanted to be connected to their ancestry, all of us raised our hands.
It all started when my great-great-grandmother came from Ghana by sea.
My great-grandmother came here from Australia because she was worried about World War II.
When the Japanese invaded China, my grandfather and his family fled from their hometown of Nanjing to Taiwan.
My parents were the first refugees to come here from Kosovo in 1999.
Toda mi familia es de Bolivia. Mi abuelo, que luchó unas cuantas guerrillas en Bolivia,
hora comer su domiciliario por capturar a alguien, el cual era su misión hacerlo.
My family is from Bolivia. My grandfather fought in the guerrilla wars there, but was put under house arrest for killing someone on a mission.
Mi madre estaba preocupada. Entonces, ella preguntó a su trabajo si podía sacar visas para mi familia y venirnos a los Estados Unidos. Tomó como 3 años que las visas se procesen y los papeles se hagan.
My mom was worried about her job and applied for visas to come here to the U.S. It took us almost 3 years to get the right papers to move here.
My grandfather marched with Martin Luther King Jr. He taught us to fight for what we believe in.
My dad's own family is from the Philippines. My parents met because they both were in the U.S. My grandfather was the oldest son of 7 siblings, and when the Japanese invaded, they were only able to flee because his father worked for the government. This invasion has become known as the Massacre of Nanjing.
My parents entered and won a green card lottery, sponsored by former President Bill Clinton. He paid for the travel, the rent, and helped them find jobs. Well, I guess the state of Virginia did that.
How much did my ancestors sacrifice to get us here? What did they have to lose?
What did they have to gain?
Why did they come here?
More jobs?
It's off to work we go. Hi-ho.
Better doctors!
Clear.
A less restrictive government.
Play. Liberty. The pursuit of happiness.
No ration of food or water! Snack time! Those are the things my ancestors wished for. But how have they changed?
What still stands in the way?
What makes it difficult for our parents to carry on?
War.
Death.
Money.
It was around Christmas time, and my family was really tight with money. We have never been super rich, but we had always been able to get by. But this year, we were really stressed. It was late one night, and I walked downstairs to get a snack, when I heard my mom whimpering and my dad whispering something to her. I turned the corner to see my mom curled tight into my dad, tears streaming down her face. My dad lifted his head. I saw that he also had tears in his eyes. Instead of telling me to go to bed, he raised his arms and gestured for me to go hug him. We stayed like that all night. It was at that moment that I realized that my parents had issues too, but they always put me before themselves, even when it isn't easy.
My parents take care of me even though when they have to carry other responsibilities.
Other burdens.
Insecurities.
Regrets.
Obligations.
What do you do when our parents can't be there for us?
How do we cope when a parent isn't there?
Who is carrying who?
My parents aren't divorced. But it's like they are. My father works at night, so when I get home from school or soccer, he's already asleep. I come home to my mom and my brother, which is nice. But I feel like having a father around changes the entire mood. It's happier. It's warmer. Not having my father around makes me feel weak. One way I cope is by hanging out with mostly boys. I've always had guy friends, but it seems like with my father not around, I surround myself with people that make me feel safe. I know my father's doing it for our family and for our own good, but if I had a choice, he'd be home more.
How do we learn to cope? The difference isn't night and day.
When the difference is thousands of miles.
Sometimes we draw close to our families.
Sometimes we reach out to friends.
And other times, we have to train ourselves to adapt to new situations.
My mom and grandparents didn't have a great relationship. She joined the Air Force when she was 17 to get my parents' house.
The thing that brought our family back together was Kai being born.
In 2009, we were living in Germany when my mom got the notice
mother's notification and her actual deployment 2 months later, Kai only got to see her mom once for 1 week.
After that, I didn't see her for 14 long, grueling months.
Your mom went through training. No less bruises.
Kai went through training that left tears on her pillow.
Mom had to learn about hugging her daughter every day.
Kai learned to comfort herself with reading, candy, and popcorn.
It was so hard keeping myself together. I cried myself to sleep at night, and I threatened to run away. The only thing that kept me going was being able to talk to Mom twice a week.
Kai was surrounded by her family's constant support.
Her mom was surrounded by strangers, fighting for the same cause.
I can't imagine what Mom went through, but I can't imagine my life without her.
After her mom's return, her family celebrated for her safe arrival. And for months, they were glued to each other's side.
My advice to kids whose parents can't be there for them is to take it day by day.
Whether it's financial issues,
Or work schedules.
Or the Call of Duty. Unlike those two borders, it can always come down to stepping stones. Be thankful and embrace the fact that you have parents who are willing to sacrifice everything, except you.
We learn things from our families that we should carry with us. Traditions, ideals, and beliefs. Those are the things that help them carry on. But I was born with my own traditions and ideas and beliefs. How do I fit their experiences into my own decisions?
My parents cope with tough situations in different ways. My mom used to separate herself. And my dad would ignore the issue. When I was little, I had no clue how to cope with my own issues because I had no reason. But when my family started falling apart, I knew I had to learn. I saw the way my parents were doing it, and I decided I wouldn't be like that. I found my own way. I learned to take a step back and try to separate myself from the problem and coming up with a solution. My parents didn't necessarily teach me how to carry on, but they certainly shaped the way I learned how to.
But why is it important that we always carry on?
Do we have to deal with every little issue in our lives?
Why can't we just let things go?
If you don't carry on, it affects others. It shows them that it's okay to give up, and sometimes it is. But most of the time, we want to inspire others to get through their own issues.
But how do we know when it's okay to give up and when it's not?
we don't always know. But sometimes the people who choose not to carry on get stuck reliving the past.
Everyone loves stories where people persevere.
When you get stuck so far in the past that it affects your future, there are two roads. Either you find someone with the wisdom to help you succeed, or you do it yourself.
I always try to be there for my friends. Kind of like a therapist, or so I've been told. I always try to help out and give advice. But when my friends try to help me, I immediately start to block off my emotions. I feel that when others know how you really feel, all they want to do is give me sympathy, and sometimes pity. I hate it since all that makes me feel weak. And I'm an independent kind of person that works hard and strives for greatness.
Sometimes we have to carry each other.
Sometimes we need other people to get by.
Verdad, no.
I was 8 and in my first big play ever. I was the lion and the mouse. I wanted to make myself look like an actual lion, so I got my mother's face paint and did the magic. I thought I looked amazing. I got ready for my partner, who only had whiskers and a mouse costume. When she first saw me, she started to giggle. I was so confused. When it was our turn to perform, I got on stage expecting cheering and applause. But instead, everybody was pointing and laughing at me. Even my best friend was laughing too. I started to cry and ran off stage. I was in a corner when I saw my mom coming to me. She took me into a classroom and washed off the paint. She did her own version of the lion. She sent me back on stage to finish the performance. That was my first taste of real embarrassment.
Sometimes we carry on because we have to, because admitting defeat isn't an option. But there are some things that we carry that just feel impossible to overcome.
They follow us like a looming shadow.
And they feel heavy.
Weigh us down.
Crush us under pressure.
It doesn't matter how these things got here or where they came from, but these things get bigger and bigger until they fill up every inch of us, stopping us from moving forward.
So how do we carry on when the things we carry feel impossible to overcome? When our difference don't make us feel special, just separate.
I don't have a story like everybody else. I'm different, not special. Different isn't good either.
I don't think it's fair that I'm different in a way that people don't understand.
I don't think there's anything really special about me.
It's unfair. I was born deaf in both ears.
Everyone like me is an outcast in their schools, their churches, their clubs, and most importantly, their families.
It's not really medical, but it is mental. I have a conscience always telling me the worst possible thing could happen. Watch out.
My hair is boring. I don't stand out, not even close. I just keep it in a ponytail and put my head down.
I got a poker and print when I was 3. I had to work twice as hard as everybody else. And still, I get bullied for being different.
And there's not a thing I can do about it.
I just want to be normal.
Every time I try to be special, I just embarrass myself and end up the same as I was before.
I hated that I was different.
I thought that for a long time too. But once you take a step back, you find the things that make you different, or what make you special.
Nobody's perfect, even though many of us want to be. But accepting ourselves for who we are makes it easier for the burdens we carry. It makes them smaller, more manageable.
Sometimes it's about learning what our differences mean and using that to help us move forward.
My father has autism, and each of the 3 kids in my family had a 1 1/3 chance of getting it. I was the lucky one. Having Asperger's is both a blessing and a curse, as it comes with advantages and disadvantages.
Advantage. He has a great memory when it comes to school and random facts that nobody cares to think about. Disadvantage. His brain has a capacity for facts, but doesn't seem to remember things a non-autistic kid would.
For example, I'm atrocious at reading body language. I have trouble maintaining eye contact with the people I'm speaking with. I don't always fit in with the crowd well.
One day, when Connor was 12, he was at soccer practice, and he began to speak too much.
This can be a problem for me. I don't always know when I should keep my mouth shut.
He's been telling the team some of the facts he gained over the years, but didn't seem that they were getting annoyed.
Did you know you're not supposed to kick the ball with the inside of your foot? Or the dogs didn't come from America, they came from Europe. Or the bees do a dance to tell other bees where the pollen is?
They also came from Europe.
We began to make sarcastic jokes and ask him stupid questions that they already knew the answers to, just to make fun of him.
I didn't know what was happening, and I played right into their trap.
His dad was a coach, and when he saw what was happening, he made the other boys cut it out. After practice, he explained to Connor what had happened.
I don't understand. Why do they make fun of me for knowing so much? I don't know. People can be cruel sometimes. Not everyone is as friendly as you are. We're always being put down for being different. But my Asperger's is what makes me special. I do want to say that I've gotten better at maintaining eye contact.
and that I'm better adapted to change. Although I do slip up, that's who I am.
I don't think that there is one specific event that has shaped me. It's been a combination of multiple events that have led up to who I am now.
We are made up of different parts that equal a whole.
We carry the history of our ancestors with us.
The experiences of our parents and the events of our own lives.
We are a mix of those things that came before us. But we also have our own beliefs, our own ideas, and our own stories. Just because one person in our life believes one thing, doesn't mean that we have to believe the same. Knowing where you came from is important, but planning on where you're going is too. In my life,
Music, soccer,
Family.
Imagination, hats,
Theater.
Football.
art.
love is a necessity. Without it, I wouldn't be able to carry the load known as life. Without it, I wouldn't be able to be me.
These are the things we carry.
The things that stay with us day to day.
That make us who we are. And with or without them, we must carry on.
keep moving forward.
Go with the flow. Evolve.
Remember the past. And just keep swimming.
If you're lost and alone, or you're sinking like a stone, carry on.